everybody on Twitch and YouTube. Welcome to the show. We're going to be bringing in our Facebook viewers here in just a couple of seconds. Hopefully everything is streaming where it needs to be. Could have some rough weather for later on tonight, but right now it doesn't really look like too much, and hopefully it stays that way, but we'll see what goes on. Twitch and YouTube, drop your comments into the comments section. We'll answer them as best we can, but let's bring Facebook in and let's get going, shall we? All right, that's it for the beginning of things. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. It is the 21st of July. We have now been in summer 1 month, 2 months to go through August and early September, so we still have a lot of heat and humidity out there. Got a decent amount to talk about tonight. We have some severe weather taking place in parts of the area. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that as of about 10 before 10 is where we could see some probable storms overnight, some rumbles of thunder out there. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. This is your opportunity. If you have questions about the forecast, you are on Twitch and YouTube. So if you'd like to know more, just go ahead and drop your comments into the comment section, questions, things like that, and we'll answer as best as we are able to. Let's go ahead and take a quick look right now at what we saw in the way of our almanac for the day. We did manage to get pretty steamy yet again. We were back into the low 90s. We did not do too badly on rain for this last week. We managed to pick up a little bit more, which erased the deficit for the month, but we still have 6.5 inches in the hole when it comes to rainfall throughout the entire area for right now. So going to be seeing the possibility of a need for more rainfall coming up in the semi-near future. Not seeing anything really going to help us out with that. This is the view right now, News 12 viewing area counties down into and around the area of the bold black shaded lines and back to our north and west. You're looking at the Nashville radar with this line of storms coming on through around northern middle Tennessee, dropping to the south. We've removed all of the lightning display for right now so that we can see this a little bit easier. And it's, again, not as severe as what we were expecting just a couple of hours ago. That's good, but we do have, again, more potential for this activity to be coming our direction throughout the evening. And it looks like we just got our first tornado warning around Dixon County, Tennessee, just to the west of Nashville. That's in effect until 9:30, so that's going to go for about another 40 minutes as we're talking here. The potential, again, for damaging winds is going to be the worst concern for right now. This is not in the News 12 viewing area yet. If it holds together, it should be another hour or so before it hits down around the area of Grundy County, Tennessee, and that is where we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 12 midnight Central Time. So that is where we're seeing the worst of the worst activity for now, just to our north and west, and then moving down to the south and to the east. So that is what we're going to be watching here. This entire line could give us a pretty good amount of some heavy amounts of wind in some locations. Go ahead and put the lightning back on here to show you that we have quite a lot of lightning strikes out across much of the area around Middle Tennessee. And we're showing close to earlier, about an hour ago, about 1,000 lightning strikes in this particular area. And a good portion of those negative. Some of those are positive. If that was a more lopsided number toward positive, I'd be a little bit more worried about possible tornadic development. It's been shown in some studies that the greater the amount of positive lightning strikes, the more tornadic a storm could possibly be. Again, that's subject to a lot of research and inquiry and stuff like that. And as you can see, the clusters of storms, the worst up here north of Nashville, Gallatin, Greenbrier, Hendersonville, back toward Cumberland City. The good news at this time is the lightning is not as intense as it used to be. Again, going from near 1,000 to down to about 700. So we have lost a little bit of a punch with this storm, but it still has a ways to go before it moves in. And again, Grundy County, Tennessee, in the News 12 viewing area, that is where we're going to see the storm hit first. Rain stretching all the way over toward northeast Tennessee, and some of that rain now into Monroe County, Tennessee, right back around the 40-75 split. So this is on the way, and this is what we've been expecting for the last couple of days. Overnight travel could be on the soggy side, so we could be seeing some slow travel out there. Whether or not these actually last until morning commute time, most of this should go barreling on through into very early Wednesday morning. But for right now, I don't really see too much of a problem. And last I checked, the Storm Prediction Center had not issued anything in the way of an update in regards to what they call a mesoscale discussion. So hopefully that'll stay that particular way and stay very much on the quiet side. Let me check real quick here, going off screen to get some information from the Storm Prediction Center. We do have one discussion focusing in on the area just north of us. Corridor of damaging winds could be possible through the next couple of hours as that drops on through. So some severe thunderstorm warnings possible. Right now, Storm Prediction Center is showing some pretty good downdrafts and maybe some very heavy rainfall, but also not showing a huge amount of problems when it comes to anything in the way of extra tornadic weather. So that's good news, but in the meantime, could be some problems again into overnight, so something to watch out for there. We'll keep an eye on this and keep you updated as to what is going on. Let's go ahead and show you more about what's happening around the area from our EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network page. Downtown Chattanooga, you can see the lights of Erlanger Park and the Lookout Mountain area. Off on the left-hand side of the screen, Raccoon Mountain off to the southwest of downtown. And again, temperatures have been very much on the quiet side for the last couple of hours. Not seeing a lot of any changes here outside of being in the mid-80s. We would love to be able to get a little cooler than that, but that seems to be several days off. The smoke coming down from Canada will be making its way into Tennessee, but it's going to be greatly reduced. It gets spread out over a larger area, so a lot of that is being pushed into the mid and southern Mississippi valleys, the Red River Valley into the Great Plains states, and a limited amount into the eastern seaboard area. So that again is potential to happen as well. As long as wildfire season continues, we'll see that possible risk of more wildfire smoke coming on through. Now we also have again a decent amount of air problems here, and that is due to the fact that we just have the usual stuff in the air. Mold spores are at the high level. We have grass pollen at the moderate level, tree and weed pollen down toward the low level, so not totally terrible. And air quality overall in the last few hours has actually been at the green or good level, so we are seeing some okay air quality for right now. Ozone gas a little higher than yesterday, and then the particle pollution, smoke, soot, vehicle exhaust, stuff like that, that's close to the yellow moderate category, but it actually remains at the good category. So we're not seeing a lot of problems out there with anything involving a huge amount of anything involving pollution stacked up across the area. So that's some good news. Again, if you're just tuning in and joining us to Weather Overtime, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 12 midnight for Grundy County, Tennessee, in the News 12 viewing area, and counties to the north and west of that. Middle Tennessee, the Plateau, I-40 corridor, we'll be seeing that continue. Now again, this is for a severe thunderstorm watch. We do not see really too much of a problem here. If this was a little bit more of an energetic front, that would be plowing into this moisture-rich air and doing a better job of creating lift. It's not doing so. There is some lift and some energy to get these storms going. And then there's this. Bertha continues its westward trek around the northern Gulf. That in itself, again, it's not a problem for us in the sense that not much is technically going on, except when you look at those circulation arrows, they're pushing moisture off the Gulf and off the Atlantic. So that is resupplying all that moisture-rich air, and that means we're going to continue to see some very sultry conditions around here. This cold front is not going to do much to help anybody. The threat of severe weather exists in the area. Again, the green indicates a marginal 1 out of 5 potential threat into the next couple of hours. The best potential in the northern half of Tennessee, that's a 2 out of 5 slight risk. So the best potential is north of us, and then the storms start to kind of run out of gas here as they move into a less favorable environment for development and for moving forward. Now, Bertha continues its way to the west. We'll talk about Bertha in detail in just a little bit. What we're also going to see is this front kind of fall apart. High pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, developing area of low pressure to help stir things up out west. So as long as this front sticks around, we're going to be seeing that wobble back and forth and become the irritant in the atmosphere for developing these showers and thunderstorms over the next several days. And that could be a problem for outdoor activities, sport academies, outdoor practice, vacation Bible school, weddings, parties, family reunions, whatever you have. If you've got it planned through the weekend, I would make certain I would be staying weather aware to please make certain that you are paying attention to what may be heading our direction. So again, definitely don't want to be caught by surprise by that. Outdoor athletic events, especially if you've got somebody who is with your group who is not playing the sport or doing something actively, and there's a chance of thunderstorms around, somebody needs to be watching the radar and to note where the lightning is, where the storm is, which direction it's going. The bigger sporting events, college football, racing, baseball, whatever, it takes time to get several thousand people to safety. And if that safety doesn't exist around whatever area you're playing or watching sports in, it's going to take some time to get them from that location to a safe location. And that needs time, and that is one of the most imperative things that anybody who's doing an outdoor event needs to be paying attention to. So please make certain you are on the ball where that is concerned on there. Temperatures back in the low to mid 70s tonight. This is as cool as it gets. Excuse me. Allergies playing up in here too. I do beg your pardon on that. Very much on the mild side tonight. Now, with the extra clouds and rainfall tomorrow, we may not see too much of anything in the way of extremely hot, dangerous weather, but where the sunshine is, you can see where those temperatures are going to be up very easily into the low 90s. Combine that with all that humidity out there, and that's going to feel like it's about 100 degrees across the area. So please consider that if you're doing anything outdoors. Bertha, making its way around the northern Gulf. There's plenty of moisture-rich air to draw on from this location, and this is where, again, the storm, if it was formed a little bit farther south out in the waters of the Gulf, that could have been a major problem, because right through this area between the Yucatan Peninsula and West Florida and Cuba, there is the Gulf, what's called the Gulf Loop, or the loop current. That is a source of extremely warm water that this storm system could have drawn on very well. It is still just a tropical storm, winds of about 39 miles per hour plus. If this had formed a little farther south, taking advantage of that loop current water, we could have seen a hurricane very easily on this. We still could, although it doesn't look like that's going to be happening at this point. Last couple of hours, we've had 2 Hurricane Hunter planes in the storm watching what is going on, and as of right now, one of them has gotten back to base. The other one is still inside the storm, keeping an eye on what is happening. If you'd like to see more about these missions, get the update on the daily amount of what is going to be going on, and find out more about what exactly it is that they found while they're inside the storm, posted this information earlier on my social media pages, tropicaltidbits.com, very good website for total coverage of lots of tropical data. So if you'd like to follow the hurricane hunters and what they discovered and where you can see along the line what they mark as unique and interesting information, this is one of the best ways to get information about a tropical system on here. It's only July. We still have several more months of hurricanes to check out. So again, thanks to the hurricane hunters for doing all of that. Now, besides Bertha in the northern Gulf, the atmosphere over the tropical Atlantic is very dry and dusty, courtesy of the Sahara Desert in Africa. So things are relatively quiet where that is concerned. Not the same case in the Pacific. We've got one disturbance back over toward the Hawaiian Islands. It's not much, it's just wandering on through, so there's not really much to worry about there. Then in the eastern Pacific, we not only have Tropical Storm Elida or Elida, depending on how you pronounce that. That is making its way up and curving just a little bit farther to the west. So Elida might push some more moisture and clouds off to the west coast. Maybe not great news for beachgoers at that location. Then we have Hurricane Fausto, the F storm. That's a Category 1 hurricane. No sign that this is going to be curving back toward the northeast yet. But if you take a look over the southwest United States, all that clouds and moisture going on through there, that's what's called a monsoonal flow. It's like the monsoons of East and Southern Asia that blanket this area at this time of the year and can douse this area with a lot of much needed rainfall. And there's also another disturbance, high possibility of something happening here. Could be something developing on the heels of Elida and Fausto going back to the north and to the east. So whether or not anything comes out of this, there's a better possibility of something forming here than all the way over toward Hawaii, and this one is going past Hawaii to the southwest. This one, on the other hand, is far enough away that it could be a threat if it holds together, if it develops something, if the conditions are right. There's a lot of conditional phrases in there because a lot can happen at this time of the year when it comes to these storms developing. So stay tuned to News 12 and we'll keep you advised as to what we're going to be looking for. Bertha, focusing on the tropical track there, is going to be making its way off to the west. There are still a couple of models, not a lot of them, but if you notice right back over Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida, a couple of these models are still boomeranging this back to the northeast. Now, maybe it's a little early, but it is possible that the flow in the atmosphere could push Bertha's remnants back our direction, and that could help out our chances of rain next week. Now, that's not the case right now. That could, again, change very easily. It looks like the conventional weather wisdom is that this is going to shoot for the Houston area, over toward Corpus Christi, and maybe over into the Rio Grande. So that is going to be the worst of the worst for this location for right now. Doesn't show signs of becoming a hurricane. That doesn't look like it's in the offing for this. It's still possible. It could become a hurricane very easily, again, if that magic two-letter word, if the conditions are right. We'll continue again to monitor and see what goes on with that. Anywhere around the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean, when something happens, the waters here are primed and ready to let go of all that heat it's holding in the first few feet layers of the upper portions of this area of the Atlantic Basin. These temperatures, anything over 80 degrees, is rocket fuel for these storms. And again, right through that area of the loop current, West Florida, North Cuba, that could be the keyhole to where if a storm goes through, hits that extra heat energy that is being absorbed through the atmosphere by climate change and fossil fuel use, that is where we could be seeing a lot of problems in the near future. We also have this so-called Super El Nino in the eastern Pacific. That is helping to, right now, keep things quiet over the Atlantic. Rising air here has to fall someplace else, so it comes down over this direction, spreads out, and kind of quashes any development. But anything that forms here, like those storms we just showed you, Elida and Fausto and those other disturbances, this again is pure rocket fuel for these storms. So we could get these storms forming in a very short amount of time. So this is something to really keep an eye on in the course of the next several days and weeks, especially if you have any beach vacations going on. So something to really pay attention to. Remember, you don't want to be going into an area where you're just going to have to turn right back around and get out of once again. Now, the severe chances right now, nothing is showing up when it comes to any severe weather, so that's good news. Not really too much of a problem being seen there, but there is going to be that potential of flash flooding going on, so we could be looking again at the potential problem over Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of maybe some potential flash flooding. So please remember, never drive through water-covered roadways after very heavy rainfall. You don't know what's in the water. You don't know if that road is even there anymore. And again, that could be the last mistake you ever make. If it's deep enough and it shorts out your engine and you just go drifting away, that could be the last mistake you ever make. So please remember to turn around and find another way to get to where you're going safely. Let's all pay attention to what exactly is going on out there while we're driving around, just to be on the safe side. And over the next few days, again, the best potential for anything involving heavy rainfall will be on Wednesday, as opposed to what is going on for the rest of the week. But we will definitely be keeping an eye on that. Taking a look at our poll question of the day, available at WDEF.com/vote now. If you'd like to take a look at our other polls, news, sports, let's chat at 10 o'clock in the morning, all you have to do is go to our website and check in. The record high temperature for Chattanooga in July is 107 degrees. That was set, I believe, in 2012, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there. I'll have to double check that, but that was the all-time maximum hottest record high temperature. What was the coolest record high temperature for Chattanooga in July? 100% of you chose 98 degrees. It was actually set on July 30th of 1999 of 99 degrees. So 99 in 99, that was our coolest record high temperature. That information according to the National Weather Service in Morristown. If you'd like to see more about that, again, you can go to their website to check out more details on that. Tons of weather information available right there. That should do it. We've been on for a healthy amount of time here, about 23 minutes. That's not bad for our standards here. So keeping you up to date as to what is going on with any weather approaching our area. We will continue to monitor, again, for the potential of more of that heading our way. Let's take one last look at what's coming our direction. Again, right to the west of Dunlap into around Grundy County, Tennessee. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 12 midnight. So far, as we're coming to you here on Weather Overtime, that is the only county that is listed in the News 12 viewing area for anything involving any severe weather watch. Now, we do have, again, plenty of activity going on into and around Middle Tennessee, Nashville getting hit pretty hard right now, and everything from Dixon over to Watertown, picking up severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are those orange polygons that you see on there. And just a few minutes ago, is that still in effect? Yes, we still have a tornado warning in effect for another 15 minutes for around Dixon, Tennessee. Not a confirmed tornado, but enough for the National Weather Service to issue a tornado warning taking place in this area. This is, again, dropping our direction. Heartened at this time by two things. Number one, we're not seeing any further warnings being issued ahead of this. And number two, the amount of lightning strikes, while it has picked up a little bit, it's mainly in these storms over here that are going south and will be staying mainly west of I-65. Then you've got this activity, which has really become a lot more quiet, but don't forget that these storms can be cyclical. They can drop in intensity, come back again, lose power, gain power, lather, rinse, repeat. That's the way these storms go sometimes. So this is going to be bringing some heavy rainfall down our direction, but it's not even close to the News 12 viewing area just yet. That's what we're looking at again right now over portions of the area. So be ready for some storms overnight. Have your weather radio ready to go just in case, and make certain that you've got everything charged up and ready just in case you may need it out there. And you never know when it might come in handy. So again, that weather radio, if you don't have one, get one. If you have one and haven't programmed it yet, we can help you do that. So please make certain you tune in to our website to give you more details on that. You can also check out more of our information on my social media pages. We can also, again, go to the big three for News 12, Facebook, X, and Instagram. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and all of these down here as well. If you'd like to check that out, if you have any questions about things, you can email me. Email address is down toward the bottom of your screen in the blue bar, aonek@wdef.com. That should do it for tonight. We'll have Chip Chapman in the morning to give you an update as to what's going on, and I'll be back with you tomorrow with, again, more heavy rainfall from some of these storms, so something to watch out for there. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Please join me again tonight at 11, and of course, Chip in the morning and throughout the rest of the day on News 12 on air and online. Thanks for joining us for Tuesday evening's Weather Overtime, and of course, thanking our sponsor, Epicos Comics, Cards, and Games, available at epicosccg.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again tonight at 11 and through the